There are serious grounds for losing the plots and going absolutely mental with the news that I'm going to talk about in this show on Manchester United. But here on Forever United TV, we're going to discuss it like real human beings. We're going to discuss it like proper Manchester United fans. Instead of going off on an absolute meltdown, let's just talk about what is happening, dissect all of the information. There's a lot to get through. Hold on to something. Never mind stand up. What am I talking about? Hold on to something. We've got plenty to go, and yeah, it's hard for me to figure out where to start with this. First of all, give the video a like, subscribe to Forever United TV. United fans talking United business and what's going on right now. That's what happens here. Give me 600 likes on the video. Please do subscribe because we bring you guys into this. It's about you and me, not just one man's voice. We're going to talk about Xander Berge. We're going to talk about FOFANA, what's happening there with them, movement in both of them deals, and significant change in the circumstances around them transfers right now. That coming up as well. That fee, that big talking point regarding WAN BISSAKA. We're going to talk about that as well. Also, I've got an update, some inside information on a first-team Manchester United player, a big player that you're probably not going to like. Stay tuned for that as well. Plenty to get through, like I said. Let's get through it. I was really struggling with the start of this video to figure out where we went, what we started with. I don't want to be the negative Nancy on this channel and talk up all of the bad stuff and everything like that. Everyone knows that I lose my shit from time to time. You're just a natural Manchester United fan. Every single fan's the same. You just react to things that are going on in your football club. It's emotional. It runs through your blood, and you feel everything that goes on. You don't fake it. That's definitely something you don't do. But yeah, when you're looking at what's happening in the transfer market with United, it always stresses everybody out. I want to talk about Xander Berge and what's happening with this deal right now with him, because there's a lot of fans that are on side with this. There's a lot of fans that are actually talking the obvious, which isn't the case with it. Let's talk first of all where the deal is actually at with Xander Berge right now and everything that's going on with him. Bear with me 1 second. As always, I have lost my page or wherever. I'm back now. Right. Okay, so talks, like we said this morning, when you listen to stuff on Sky, they're usually a bit behind with everybody else. But when they do talk about stuff and say that things are happening, they have to make sure that it is happening, because it's the biggest broadcaster. But they're saying Manchester United have held talks with Burnley to discuss terms over a move for Xander Berge. That come from Damashev earlier on today. And talks are quite advanced now, with United discussing a possibility of taking Xander Berge for 20 million. Now, we know that that's a good deal. Burnley are holding out for more. We know about that. It's a nonsense. It's not going to happen. No one is going to pay 30 million plus for Xander Berge from Burnley. There's no one really... There's no one else in the market for him that's going to pay that, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, where Burnley are hoping for a price, I don't think it'll happen. I think Xander Berge obviously wants this move to happen. There is more talk from Sky saying Xander Berge wants to make the move to Manchester United. He is going to do everything in his power to make it happen. He's not going to kick up a stink, but there could come a point when a transfer request goes in. The other news regarding it as well is that Manchester United are exploring the conditions of his current deal at Burnley. He's got 3 years left to run at Burnley, obviously, since he was brought in from Sheffield United. So, in a situation where Burnley don't want to let a player go, but Burnley obviously know that they're relegated and players want to stay in the Premier League, Xander Berge is a player that wants to move on from Burnley, because if he stays, it's another year gone. We know his age. He's now into his late 20s. You want to be permanently in the Premier League. Once you've had a taste for it, you want to be in there. So the deal is at a stage right now where Manchester United are openly talking to Burnley to try and figure out a way to get him out of that contract that he's got 3 years left to run on right now. The talks are advanced as well now. So this is definitely something that is going to happen if Manchester United don't decide to go back in for Manuel Ugarte. Sky have also said in the same piece about Ugarte, it's not off the table, but the way that things are going at the moment at United, I'm going to explain more about that after this transfer talk of the incomings. They may have to look closer to home. They may have to look for the cheaper deals as such. Cheaper deals don't necessarily mean the wrong deals. Let's make that clear. What is the hardest league that we're talking about here in Europe? It's the Premier League, isn't it? It is the hardest league. There's more games. The games come quicker. It's harder hitting. It's faster paced than La Liga, than Ligue 1, then Serie A, than the Bundesliga, Eredivisie, whichever league you want to talk about. The Premier League is harder. And let me just bring up some stats on Sander Berge for idiots that don't want to look into detail about certain players and why Manchester United might actually be looking at players like this. Sander Berge won 58.5% of his challenges in the Premier League last season. That's higher success rate than Martin Zubimendi, 54%, Manuel Ugarte, 48%, and Yusuf Fofana, 45.5%, all within their respective leagues. Tell me that, yes, Sander Berge is probably doing a few more duels because he's playing for Burnley. And he is winning the majority of them, yes. Ugarte, 48%, you're looking at that, you're going, well, PSG are going to have the majority of the possession nearly every single game. So he's not going to have a lot to do. Zubimendi in La Liga, you'd expect him to be right up there, but Sander Berge still beats him. So he's just under 60% of his duels won, which is quite a lot. That's challenges, that's tackling, that's duels, that's everything. Challenges in general, that's just under 60% Sander Berge, higher than any other Manchester United, of any United's targets that we're looking at in the midfield department. I don't want to go too much into detail on Sander Berge. I'm just like, I want to put it to rest that these absolute, I'm not going to use any words to describe these people or fans that don't want to look into it. I understand people saying it's a bit of a drop off from a certain player to a certain player, but you don't know until them players are actually in and wearing a United shirt. So all United can do is properly recruit. And all anyone that's moaned about in the fan base recently is why we've not recruited and why we've not got these deals over the line before. And then they go to another club and then we have to pay stupid amounts of money for him. Well, this is one of them deals. Like, he's been there. No one else is looking at him. No one else is looking at him. Why? Probably because everybody else has got a player in that position above us or around us in the league that they don't need to go out and buy that player. You look at what Liverpool are doing right now. The pressure is on them. They're having to make a significant signing, and Ornstein has come out and said that Zubimendi is now open to moving to Liverpool. They're discussing the deal. So they're in for Zubimendi, who, like we said in the stat-wise, is on a par. I'm not saying Zubimendi is on a par in terms of quality of player with Sander Berge, but you know where I'm going with it. They're looking to solidify their midfield. You look at what Aston Villa have got, what Tottenham have got, all covered in that area. Manchester City, Arsenal, all covered in that area as well. Obviously Newcastle, the same. Chelsea, do I need to say more with their midfield? So when people come out and say, why are we looking at it but no one else is in the Premier League? Well, we finished 8th in the bastard league, people. Let's not forget that. Yeah, and that's with these so-called brilliant players that we thought we were buying last season as well. You know, when we spent 60 million on Mount, 60 million on Casemiro, players like this. The one that really stood up in the end last season was Kobbie Mainoo, who came through the academy. And do you know what I mean? Like, you bring an academy player through, but you're going to give him the time to actually adapt and give him the time of day. But because you're actually buying a player from Burnley, you're not going to give him the time of day because of where he's come from and who he's played for. Look, he didn't get Burnley relegated. It was a whole team. Everything that he did worked well. And everything that he did has picked up on Manchester United's metrics and what they're looking for in a player. So let's just put it to bed and saying that Sander Berge is not a good player and people shooting him down just need to give the red a bit of a wobble, don't they? Manchester United are exploring conditions for the 3-year deal. Dialogue open with Monaco over Yusuf Fofana after initial approach. Final year of his contract as well. But there's more on Fofana going past that. AC Milan's interest in Fofana has cooled after they were unable to agree a deal with Monaco. And we heard that AC Milan started to get the little shivers when Manchester United came in as well, because we know that Monaco are going to try and get more out of Manchester United because they can. But the beauty of Fofana is, and how Monaco can, is that, again, that's another player like Yoro that's going to be going on a free next season. And they're going to lose out everything on that deal. So, going into Fofana, into Berge, they are definitely players that Manchester United are talking to. The talks are advanced and they are moving forward very, very quickly. They are not just little stories anymore. They are significant stories that Manchester United are looking into, and you could actually see both if things go the way that Manchester United want them to go. All depends on what deal they can get out of both clubs. Both hit the mark in terms of what Manchester United wants. Yes, they wanted Ugarte first, but they are not going to get a deal out of PSG. That is clear now. and I think United are ready to move and just get things moving along and get in terms of getting players over the line and getting enough in this squad to start the season. Let's get into some of the chat before we move on to the next subject on this one. Let's get talking FOFANA and Berge. We are now scraping the bottom of the barrel for midfielders. Look, Dill, we don't know if that's the bottom of the barrel. Someone to say Agate's bottom of the barrel. The only player that stands out as absolute quality in any of the Manchester United players that we've been linked with, any of the players that United have been linked with, is Martin Zubimendi. He's the only one that stands out as top-notch. And Liverpool are in for him. Let's not forget, we cannot convince every single player to come to United. We definitely cannot convince every single player to come to Manchester United when we haven't got Champions League football and other teams have. Yes, we've done well to get Yoro. We've done well to get Xerxes. We've sold them the project. Young players. Zubimendi is at that time of his career. He's entering his now later 20s as well. Obviously, Liverpool need a player desperately in that position as well. And they have probably got a little bit more to offer Zubimendi. So we can't win them all. And let's be honest, who is going to say? Like, we're all opinionated, aren't we? Like, you've got Berge, you've got FOFANA, you've got Rabiot, you've got... I said FOFANA, didn't I? Yeah, you've got Agate, you've got Gomez, you've got Rios. Like, who is the better player? Someone tell me who the better player is and what you're basing that off. You're basing it off nothing. You're basing it off the profile, the look, where they've come from, because you've not heard of him. Maybe he's better player because he's at Burnley and Sheffield United. He must be the worst naturally because he's been relegated. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that when he puts that Manchester United shirt on, you know that player is not going to melt under the pressure. You know that player has got something. And like we said before, Berge has got something that United like, and it fits what Manchester United are trying to build. So if we're going to back Erik ten Hag, get behind him, then you need to back the players that are being picked out as well, do you not? Yeah, we can moan about it on match days if we don't play well and everything like that, but basically right now, Manchester United are looking for players that fit the system. They're recruiting properly. And yes, if players don't come, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just means that Manchester United are having to move things around quickly and react to certain situations within the market. It's what it is right now. And I don't think Berge is a bad player. I don't. Will he be first choice? I don't think he will. No. But when you're looking to make a substitution and something different and you're bringing on a 6'5" Premier League proven player who has won nearly 60% of all his challenges in the Premier League, he's good at the back, he's good going forward, useful in the air, then yeah, there's a bit of a difference there. And you know what? I would take him over Scott McTominay. I would. Now, Scott might still be here, and Berge might be a player that we bring in alongside, say, someone like Amrabat. But then you've got an 8 and a 6 position covered pretty much there, double time with what we've already got. Not what we wanted, ideally, no, but at least it is improving what we had last year. And touch wood, everyone stays fit. I know that's a big if. What's happening with De Ligt? We covered that this morning, Alex. Still no movement on there. United threatening to walk away if Bayern don't move away from that deal. Gehan says, sometimes from an average team that they have quality players, you don't need to spend big to get quality. No, you need to recruit. Well said, Gehan. Do you think Liverpool fans there are always diamonds in the rough? Cried about signing a £6 million Robertson at the time. Yep, good point as well. Well made, Dan. Blessing says, sacrifices need to be made. Paying for WAN BISSAKA is a need. We can't have 10 out of 10 window with the amount of issues United has. It's unreasonable. I get that as well. Well said. Stephen, Liverpool bought Endo last season, yet they finished above us. It's not about big names. Good point again, Stephen. Good comparisons there. And like I said at the start of the show, guys, we discuss it here on Forever United TV between us, like proper fans, not one person running his mouth trying to convince people that this club is going down the absolute mire and that Ineos is to blame for absolutely everything. Crazy. B-Boy, going for Berge. I'm pretty sure it's a strategy to get PSG to lower their asking price for Agate. Could well be. Time will tell on that one. Brian says, us fans that love this club, we should be getting the best out there. We should be getting the best out there, but when we can't afford the best out there and trying to get the best out there and overspend gets us in trouble with PSR and we lose points and then fall out the Champions League, it's not doable. That's just the way that the football market works. People need to understand that FFP is real and we can't fall above it. Everything that the Glazer puppets did in Murto, Woodward, Arnold, Judge, every one of them has took us to this point now where we are literally on the edge of being deducted points with financial fair play. We cannot do it. Rules are rules. In this side of Manchester, we don't break them. And that's why we are doing what we're doing in the transfer window. It's as simple as that. So we got it here. Why did it take Ineos 1 month to realise that they can't get Agate though? Because he was their top target. And they wanted to give every single chance to get that top target while talking to other players like we have done now, like we're communicating with. Top target gets the deadline, still over 3 weeks left in the window to bring in other targets. Sorry, not happening. We draw the line. We don't go and do what we did with Anthony. We don't go and do what we did with Casemiro. I've not got a problem with it, mate. That's where I'm at with it. Next thing, Erik ten Hag outers will be complaining about lack of style of play because new signings won't have pre-season. Not really, mate, to be honest. It's the same team, so Ten Hag should have got through to these players by now, shouldn't he? Mr. C says, Ineos has told that they reduce the fee for Agate if we gave them a free run, and Neves, they lied. I think that might have been made up, that story, mate, to be honest. They lied and have now got, has not as yet reduced that fee. It's not Ineos' fault. Be realistic in your opinions. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, you can't blame Ineos. You're dead right, mate. But I think that story was kind of blown up a little bit. Yeah, it is just PSG playing stupid ball with stupid prices with Agate. That's why that deal is not happening. Let's see. Neves was never joining United. Yeah, please do subscribe, guys. Please hit the like button. We're creeping up to 200 already. 17 minutes in. Where's the time gone? Sorry, guys. I've got loads to get through. We need to move on. And the next story is, yes, Mr. WAN BISSAKA. Let's talk WAN BISSAKA and what's going on with this one. Because this is what I said at the top of the show. When it comes to actually losing the plot and going crazy, we've all got grounds to lose it with this deal. And it's a sad state of affairs when you go into detail. You can see at the bottom of your screen there going across the bar, a West Ham source has said that WAN BISSAKA wants a £7 million payoff from Manchester United because he's on a Bosman in a year, and that is the problem. He's expecting that. If he's going to go now, he wants United to pay what he would get when he leaves on a free on a Bosman. That's the situation we're at. Manchester United have no desire to pay WAN BISSAKA £7 million to lead the club, and West Ham are also in no position to pay such a hefty fee on top of a transfer figure. So the transfer figure was agreed at £18 million. West Ham are happy with that, and it was then down to United and West Ham and WAN BISSAKA to discuss this compensation package, which has hit complete and utter deadlock. So that is not happening at all right now. No one's going to pay a player £7 million in compensation. West Ham are not going to pay it after paying £18 million, and United don't want to because they haven't got the bleeding money. So it would basically make WAN BISSAKA go for what, £11 million? This was the issue we had with Harry Maguire last season in going to West Ham. United weren't willing to do it, except Maguire's was a lot more substantial. And they're looking into it and maybe trying to split it. They were negotiating with West Ham, trying to figure that out. But when we said this morning what Mike McGrath says, and said West Ham are moving on to other targets now instead of WAN BISSAKA, in terms of trying to get a deal over the line with WAN BISSAKA, that's what he was talking about. It's this fee. It's the £7 million fee for WAN BISSAKA. Now, this, like I've said before, this happens a lot with players. It does. Compensation is paid. Not to these amounts, though. Not to these amounts. And I've said that the story from The Sun was probably elaborated a little bit. Well, I've been proved wrong if this is right. And it is £7 million, because that is absolutely ridiculous. It's scandalous. And it's an absolute joke that United have got themselves in this position where a player and his agent can demand this amount of money from the football club. It's like the inmates are well and truly running the asylum right now at Manchester United from the old school. Obviously, with Ineos they're trying to change things, but contracts are contracts. Stipulations are there. clauses are there, releases, everything like that that's in that contract is binding. You cannot change it. So Ineos's hands are tied. They are stuck with a player. If I looked at this, and we've got a poll running up right now, guys, please get voting on the poll. Creeping up to 900 in the room with us, guys. Like, share, do subscribe, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. How does Aaron Wan Bissaka's payoff demand make you feel? Angry, don't play him. 42%, just get it done and move on. 58% of you are happy for the sake of getting transfers done to pay this player $7 million. Because he's going to be going on a free next year and earning the money. That's where this fan base is at right now. 58% of you have said, just pay Aaron Wan Bissaka the money. Like, okay, pay him the money, but what are you going to do then when you haven't got enough money to bring in another player? I don't think people are thinking about it and understanding why Ineos can't just take the hit on this one. Yeah, you can take the hit, but it means that we don't get Masraoui because we haven't got enough money to cover it. So that's the situation Ineos are trying to negotiate right now. I'm with you, like, just take the hit on the players right now. This is an unforeseen circumstance and an extreme one because of that stipulation, that clause that a few players have put into their contracts that if the 1 year extension is triggered, they get a percentage of that sell-on fee because they would be leaving for free the following year on a Bosman. That is the difference right now. It's not where Anthony is. It's not where Sancho is. It's not other players like that. It's the ones like Wan Bissaka and Lindelof that are the problem right now for United. The 1 year triggered extensions are the issue. This is why you're looking at United possibly looking to move on the likes of Maguire and McTominay now. We discussed this earlier on. Before that 1 year gets triggered, either let him go on a free next year or trigger the contract. Like United triggered Wan Bissaka's, and now he wants this amount of money. They're in a tough situation. I'm not saying that Ineos wouldn't have known about this. I think they would have known about this. They have to have known about this coming in if they trigger that contract extension. But maybe they were thinking, look, it's the player's not actually going to ask for that much. It's just a crazy amount. It is a stupid amount of money, but I think Ineos are actually finding out exactly how Manchester United was run now and how the players had so much power. They're probably sat there going, Jesus, what have we let ourselves in for here with this lot? This mob actually want to convince us that we have got to pay them this amount of money if we want to sell them. Like, or they go for nothing the following year. It's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. It's crazy, in fact, that we're in this position right now with Wan Bissaka. And I can see a lot of people shouting out, it's like, you greedy bastard. Like, seriously, you absolute greedy bastard. What the hell? Why do you need £7 million right now? Because they were allowed to. And their contract says that they can do. So if you can, you do. And these players are going to take as much money as possible. Don't forget, like, it's a short career. Like, it's a short career, isn't it, being a footballer? They're going to take everything they can, footballers. Like, from their side of it, if you're in that position and you're being forced out of the football club, you don't want to leave, you're going to take them for everything you possibly can, aren't you? You don't want to go. So why would you want to accept the rule, accept what Ineos want to do and just leave? Look, United do want to give Wan Bissaka some money. They're just not willing to pay $7 million. And I think that's right. That is too much. It has to be a lot less than that. And that is where the hold-up is with Wan Bissaka right now. And Manchester United are probably negotiating hard with him to try and get that fee down from $7 million. Maybe half it, maybe get a bit less. We know what United are like for paying compensation. They wouldn't do it with Wilcox. They wouldn't do it with Ashworth. They've dealt with Manchester City and Berge in terms of staffing. Whether or not they can handle it with players, I don't know. It's a different discussion altogether. So Manchester United have some big decisions to make. Like we said, do we commit with Berge and FOFANA? Do we commit to a certain amount with Aaron Wan Bissaka? Do we have to bite the bullet and make the decision just so we can get some money together to maybe get some other deals over the line? It's really awkward right now. But this one, I think, is just going to piss people off. Absolutely destroy people regarding Aaron Wan Bissaka and where this football club is at right now. It will. And I don't blame him. I don't. Like everybody's got their own opinions and own thoughts on everything going on at Manchester United right now, and we have gone through with Eric Ten Hag, so many transfer windows of disappointment, letdown, overspending, false promises, everything like this, and now we're looking at players that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer brought in that have ultimately not cut the mustard, taking Manchester United for everything they can after having these stupid amounts of wages as well. It's mental. It really is crazy where we're at. Look, Wan Bissaka contributed to Manchester United getting the League Cup, getting the FA Cup. It hasn't been a waste of time. And I'm not blaming Wan Bissaka with this at all. It's not his fault. His agent is pushing it, and he is just going to stand back and let his agent do the work. It's not Wan Bissaka's fault. It's Ed Woodward's, it's Myrtle's, it's Arnold's, it's whoever was working at United that put this clause into these triggered contracts that is to blame for this. Absolute, lunacy it is. It's mental, crazy. We have more updates coming in. I want to get your thoughts on this one. It's another injury concern as well regarding Fish, the young fullback. Before the injury, Fish was told he would not be sold unless there was another incoming at centre-back due to Lenny Yoro's fractured metatarsal. Now it has been cleared that he is out for 6 weeks. So, Fish out for 6 weeks means that no transfer for him. He was attracting a lot of attention from Championship clubs and was going to be sold by Manchester United. Obviously, this ligament injury that he has now got is going to keep him out of action for another 6 weeks, and the deal is not likely to happen at all. He is now going to be in the Manchester United squad going into the season and will probably be used in matchday squads because we're so light. Because the other news coming out of Manchester United right now, looking ahead, and I think Ten Hag has got a press conference this afternoon as well, which is really interesting to see what he says about this and the situations going on. Obviously, he's going to be asked a lot of questions regarding transfers, not necessarily talking about the Manchester derby and the game at Wembley, but there is also news coming out of Manchester United. Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof had doubts for Saturday's game against Manchester City, although Eric Ten Hag is expected to give an update on his side when he conducts his pre-match press conference on Thursday. Oh, dearie me. Oh, God. Can you imagine if Lindelof and Maguire are both out as well? It would be, again, can't believe that Martinez, after all of what's happened last season, would be the only fit centre-back going in to the start of this season into the Community Shield. Mental. Absolutely mental. But, like we said, Fish, he's just going to basically be another defender now going up until that January transfer window. I think he'll probably be loaned out or sold in January maybe, if everyone's back. We're basically going to be running fitness tests on Evans, Maguire and Lindelof alongside Leacher. We should have a centre-back partnership there for the weekend. I'm not really concerned. It's not desperate stages yet with that. But I think Maguire will be fair. I think Lindelof will probably drag his ass over the line because he needs to. To be honest, I'm not bothered if Lindelof plays or he doesn't. I'd rather Johnny Evans be playing alongside Leacher anyway. But yeah, that's where we're at with them. But I was told some other interesting news as well earlier on from our guy in the know around Carrington. And it's not going to please you at all. But you've seen all the pictures going around social media on Manchester United training. There's definitely not one person there that's not been pictured, and there's a reason why. There are concerns, yes, here we go, about Luke Shaw. It isn't just his fitness. Apparently, there could possibly be an injury on the horizon. If everything that he's saying is right, we could be looking at losing Luke Shaw again for the start of the season. Apparently, I have been told that this is something that is being, or has tried to be kept under wraps at Manchester United because it would send everyone into meltdown. Obviously, you can imagine the reaction to this if this is true. And now we'll wait and see. And I'm not saying this is a dead cert, but he has told me and he has said, look, he's struggling. Those were his words. He's struggling big time. I said, is it fitness or is it an injury? Please don't tell me it's an injury. The noises coming out from them was his response was that it looks like it could be an injury. Now, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. The medical team are under immense pressure. By the way, he has also said to me that they are still a medical team member down as well. So Manchester United not up to full staff in the medical department. And with the amount of issues going on right now, you've got Rasmus out, you've got Yoro out. Fish has done his ligaments as well. You've got fitness tests for Maguire and Lindelof before the weekend with Knox. Now Shaw, if he does not start or isn't in that matchday squad at weekend, you know the story's probably true. And they're trying to keep it under wraps apparently, because this would send everyone into absolute meltdown if this was true. And again, I'm just gonna make it clear. He said the noises coming from United are worrying ones, that Luke Shaw is definitely struggling. When I hear the words Luke Shaw and struggling, I automatically expect the worst, to be honest. Over 1,000 in the room with us, guys. Please give the video a like. Make sure you are subscribed. Share the video as well, guys. Give me your thoughts. I'm going to come to the chat in a minute. But like I said, anything concerns with Shaw or doubts with Shaw or any wording like that or anything coming from Manchester United, for me, literally means he's dead, basically. He's got no chance. Not dead, like metaphorically. Like he's out, he's injured, whatever. It's so painful, honestly, because you literally got people last season comparing him to Martial and saying that his stats season on season for the time he's been there, he's worse than Anthony Martial, but didn't get the stick that Martial did. Look, Luke Shaw, when he's on the field, is a brilliant defender. I'm past this now. I'm done. If he has got another injury, I'm done. If, guys, honestly, if I've said that the news, I've brought the news out there and I've said it. I'm just going off what they have told me. But you wouldn't be surprised, would you? That's how you would put it. And disappointed, devastated, to be honest, with the situation we've got right now with defenders again. Absolutely devastated. We've gone from looking like we've got a half-decent setup and hopefully getting Mazraoui over the line and De Ligt over the line to getting no centre-back, not getting Mazraoui because WAN BISSAKA won't go because of his compensation, to now finding out that we could be losing Luke Shaw again with late fitness tests for Lindelof and Maguire. Like, do these guys just make up fucking injuries just so they don't get sold? Like, honestly, like Maguire and Lindelof on their own, like, aside, like, joke. Luke Shaw, good God, like, what is wrong with the man? It's time to call it a day. If you cannot be fit for the start of this season, it is just time, personally, mate, just to retire. Because you're not ever going to contribute to anyone. United are not going to ever be able to use you or rely on you. And no one's going to buy him. Hey, honestly, I hope it's not true. I hope that I am just losing it for the sake of it from a story that I've heard. But he wouldn't have told me if he didn't think that there was anything in this. Hopefully, we get an update from Ten Hag. Like, the press conference is coming out apparently today. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check that. It'll be today or tomorrow. And we're then looking forward to the derby on Saturday. I fear for Manchester United if we don't manage to sell WAN BISSAKA and get other players in and get deals done. We desperately need to get another fullback in. Mazraoui is the man. I think in the end of the day, look, worst case scenario here right now, United don't sell any players. We lose them all on the free next summer. You've got Lindelof there for the season and WAN BISSAKA's there, and you bring in Mazraoui with what money you've got just for covering that left and right back. It sounds pathetic, doesn't it? It sounds like I've given up a little bit, but like I said, worst case scenario. I still don't think that I still think that we are going to sign someone. I keep saying this on every single show. We are going to sign someone. Like, there's still time to go. Let Ineos do their thing. But every single day now, it seems like we're getting another hurdle thrown in front of Ineos when they're trying to progress Manchester United and move forward. It's getting worse every bleeding year with these injuries. I don't know why, but it is depressing right now to hear how many players Manchester United are injured, how long that injury list is, and we've not even started the fucking season. Into the chat we go. Luke Shaw just wants to cash in on a paycheck, cancel his contract. If I mess about at work, they'll fire me for poor work performance. Why do these pathetic players get to run down our contract? Shaw, that was from Kieran. Shaw is turning into Phil Jones. Near enough worse. Sick and tired of United. Surely now Shaw in doubt. Yeah, still so sure United beat Brighton, Adam. We can still beat Brighton, yes, of course we can. 100% we can. Like, with the team we've got, we can beat Brighton, we can beat Fulham, and we can beat Liverpool. No excuses. And I'm not going to let this be an excuse either for these first few games. Like I said, like, I will judge this window properly once we hit September 2nd. Teams have left for international duty, and we've just played Liverpool the game before. I'm not saying anything else yet, but United have got enough to win them next 3 Premier League games. I don't want to hear any bollocks excuse about injuries. We've got enough players to beat all 3 of them teams, and we should be beating them. Luke needs replacing. End of. Great talent, but he's done. Need to move on. My unpopular opinion last year was sell Luke Shaw, says Kaz. I remember it outside Old Trafford. I just don't think United will ever be able to sell Luke Shaw because of this. No one's going to buy Luke Shaw. At the age he is, going into his, I think what's Luke Shaw now? Going into that 29. He's going to be in his 30s soon with this injury record. United just accept that they're going to lose him. Oh, God. Manchester United desperately need to be in that Champions League next season. There is a big shout right now. If this window doesn't get better, and still there's time, it can get better, for United to concentrate purely on the Europa League to get into the Champions League. If United get in the Champions League, it helps out massively. Ineos are going to have to make some seriously tough decisions right now in risking financial fair play, I think, as well at this stage. Look, United have got no money to spend apart from what's already out there that we've got. Like we said early on, what have we got about? I thought it was about 70. I think it's about about 65 million. If we're saying that we're bidding 30 million and no more for De Ligt, we're in for about, I think it was about 35, 38 million for Agate. Then, yeah, 60 odd million, less than 70 million's available. You can see why Xander Berge would come in. I could see why he would bring Amrabat in as well on that one. Xander Berge and Amrabat. There's 2 more midfielders in. You've got Collier as well. Casemiro stays. Don't know what's happening with McTominay. I'm just at the moment accepting that McTominay's staying as well because Fulham are not coming back in on the bid. If you listen to the earlier show as well, United could approach Fluminense for Andre, who Fulham are also bidding for as well. So you've got all of that to bring into it. It's going to be an incredibly fun last few days of the window, I think, for United. The last few weeks are going to be crazy, but I think that last week is me thinking that Ineos were fully organised, and they are, but definitely underestimated the situation United are in financially with these players as well. It's going to be a crazy old last couple of weeks of the window. The manager will be gone by Christmas, says Flash Talks with a super chat. Cheers, mate. Another super chat from Greg. I need some positive vibes, or I see this season going to be a hard one to stomach. Over to you, Adam. Thanks, Greg. Like I said, like we are looking, like I just bigged up Xander Berge at the top of this show. I'm not having people talking absolute crap online that he isn't good enough. We don't know if Agate is good enough. We don't know if FOFANA would be good enough. There's no guarantee with any player coming to Manchester United. I'll say it again. There really isn't. You also look at what people are saying regarding Maguire as well. Like I said it before with WAN BISSAKA. Like people are talking on social media about Harry Maguire being a complete waste of money. The fee that we bought for him, the wages that we pay him every single week, and then a comment at the end, putting all that together over 5 years, adding it up, weekly wage, to the fee, and putting up the big total, and then saying, this is what it's cost Manchester United with no return at all. I'm sorry, what? How many Champions Leagues did we qualify for with Harry Maguire in the side? How many trophies did we win? Yeah, we got a couple of them as well. We won City close once. I know it's all little bits and stuff, but you cannot say... It's like saying, look, it's cost us all of this money and he's just sat there on his arse and done nothing. Like, he's played games. He's played games, so you cannot say that. It's some people's opinions on players, honestly, and the agendas and the narrative that they're trying to drive is absolutely criminal. They're a disgrace. They really are. It's an absolute joke. And like I said, like, I don't blame the players. Yes, the players, and I've reacted to this before, but I've learned in some of my reactions that, you know what? It's maybe not just the player that's at fault here. You have to look at the agent. You have to look at what's going on behind the scenes as well. You have to look at everything involved in these situations. Like Scott McTominay, he's a United fan. He's grew up in the academy. Of course he doesn't want to leave United. And you know what? If he's going to move away, it's going to have to be the right one at this stage of his career. There's a lot more involved in what us United fans with our red-tinted glasses see. Like, you just have to accept it. It's painful as hell. God, trust me, I'm feeling it with you right now. But still, there are more pieces at play, and it isn't just a one-way road. It isn't. You've got to look at everything, and I feel like Manchester United are on the edge of turning over that new page. We're going to have to go through a lot of pain and a lot of expense to get there into moving on and starting off this new era, though. Adam, it's really boring when you constantly go to example to your audience what Ineos need to do to move forward. Adam, it's really boring when you constantly got to explain to your audience why Ineos need to move forward. Why? Because people are commenting, mate, at me asking why I'm actually backing them up. So I'm just replying to the comments. John, seriously, mate, come on, get a grip, son. Anthony rumours to Saudi too good to be true. I jump on a loan if they offered that. Preferably sell him if we can. Honestly, yes. I feel like Anthony, I don't know. That would be a bonus in this transfer window and the way things are going, wouldn't it? If we can get rid of Anthony, there was a rumour going around earlier on about a £30 million bid. They would be crazy to bid that. That would be something that United just snatch someone's hand off for straight away. If they can get that done, then a lot is forgiven. I'll say that, definitely. It's one of them. I just don't see anyone even risking paying that amount of money for Anthony. He doesn't warrant that price at all. But yeah, let's look at where we're at. Let's look at the money we need to make, the deals that are possibly there. Just to round up, FOFANA and Zanderberger are 100% definite targets for United. Talks advanced with Zanderberger and Burnley. Manchester United now favourites for FOFANA because AC Milan have dropped out. Wan Bissaka has reported fee for leaving Manchester United, and what he wants in compensation is $7 million. United not willing to pay that, but negotiating with Wan Bissaka to try and get that down and then move him on. Luke Shaw, injury concerns again. Press conference coming up from Ten Hag on who might be playing in that Community Shield, who's fit, who's available from the players that have come back from international duty and so on. And yeah, we've got a busy weekend, like Friday tomorrow, eve of the game. Looking forward to watching the game, really am. We are doing a watch along, guys, on TIFO, so make sure that you jump onto that. My mods will drop that link into the chat for you guys to hook up with. Just click on the link and away you go. Free, completely free. Come and join the fun over on TIFO for the watch along. I'm going to end the poll there. People are saying 61% of you are saying United should just pay that $7 million fee for Wan Bissaka and move on. I can't believe that. But it just goes to show where the fan base is actually at. And they just want to move forward and accept the expense. Will Ineos do that? Time will tell. And we may have more news for you later on as well, guys. But guys, that is it. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I will see you later on at 6:30. Make sure that you give the video a like. Cheers for all of them. Over 300 on the video. Again, over 1,000 in the room for most of that as well, guys. Really appreciate it. Mods and members, thanks again. Legendary job all day. I'll see you all later on, guys. It's going to be... I think it's going to be a busy one, isn't it?